Alright, what we got here is basically a mess. Now, this is a 2015, I believe, a 2015 Mitsubishi, which is a Y2K throwaway car. Can I go ahead and do that again? Throwaway. That means that usually when these cars get wrecked, the insurance company will total them out, especially in a situation like this. And the reason I say that is because the lower part of this post, this center post right here, is crushed in. Now this car was hit very hard. Let me show you what we're talking about.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
So the impact of the wreck came sliding in just like this. Do you see how I did that? It came right here at this angle and it crushed this part of the door in. So by doing so in that situation, it pushed the door into the center post and then also wrecked the rear door as well. Now, I can't really, give you a touch and feel action on this, but I'm going to tell you that this door skin is like 024 gauge steel. It's very, very thin. I believe that it's probably maybe thinner than an aluminum can almost, believe it or not. And when you dent these or you touch them, look at that, you can hear it. All right, if you lean up against these brand new cars of today, what happens is you can actually dent it just from leaning on it. So they're not really durable as far as construction-wise type building that we might be talking about, and I believe that the cars built today are less safe than the cars that were built back in 1972, because back in 1972 they actually used real steel to build cars instead of a tin can. So by getting that car hit at this angle, what happened, it pushed that lower section of that center post in, and then it also buckled that door up, which pulled that hinge. When it got hit like this, it hooked onto that door and it pulled that hinge like this, and it didn't really twist the center post, but what it did do is it crushed it in. And if we look down in this section right in here, you can basically see, just by the angle of the camera, the way I'm moving it, you can see that it has been crushed in, and it is very, very much what we would call a collision repair. So let's go ahead and focus on this, because we're actually hanging the rear door first. And what you see right there is the old rear door leaning up against the wall, taking off the vehicle. And then what I'm doing here is I'm using the old hinge. This is the old hinge, and I'm going to use that to pull. All right, I'm going to use my slide hammer. I'm going to hook onto this. I'm going to use my slide hammer to pull all this back out. And I'm thinking, by the structure of this vehicle, if I use my slide hammer in the right way, that it will go ahead and hopefully straighten this out and get that buckle out. And also, you can see how the hinge is leaned in. We should be able to pull that hinge out and get it lined back up. Alright, so back to what we were really actually doing here. What I got here is I got a chain, and I'm going to try to feed this chain into the hinge, and it looks like it's going to feed itself in there. And this is actually part of a slide hammer pull kit that you can purchase. There we go, just like that. Now, once again, I would like to say that I am not concerned or worried about this hinge itself. I actually have another door that has a hinge, and we'll be using that. So the slide hammer kit that I have actually comes with an adapter that has a chain built on it, and then it's got a hook. So when you hook it across something like this, you can go ahead, and I fucked up. Now I got to take this off. Let's get it out of there, because before I put this on, I actually have to put this onto the slide hammer itself. Before we do that though, I will show you, this is a very popular hook when it comes to a slide hammer. Now, what size slide hammer is this? What size is it? We don't know, okay? But I can tell you it's a very big, heavy one. I would say that this is about a 15-pounder, 20-pound. This is the XL size, and I've had this for many years, and they still sell these, even though they're not used that much. But yeah, they're still a handy item to have. So we're going to go ahead and take this bit off of here, this adapter, just like this. And then we'll go ahead and screw our chain adapter onto the slide hammer. And believe it or not, I very rarely ever have to use the chain adapter. This is like once in a blue moon that we have to actually get this out. And if this doesn't work, then what we're going to have to do is we will have to get our frame machine out and use that. So that's kind of what I'm not wanting to do. I am going to try the simple stuff first, and then we will go to the other. Yeah, you get the idea. Now, keep in mind, this is an old hinge. All right, this is the old hinge. This is not a new hinge. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook my chain just like you see right there. And then if we watch real close, we might see that this hinge right here, when I pull the back side of it, because remember it got hit like this, when I pull this, when I give it that bam, okay, when I come back and go bam, and I do it real hard, the slide hammer should pull this area out and get me back in line with our hinges where it's supposed to go. And that's not looking good. Okay, did it do anything? It did do a little bit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to stop right there, and then right in this area here we got a little bit of a buckle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my this isn't a rubber mallet, this would be a what kind of mallet would you call this? It's not a rubber mallet, it's a sand-filled mallet. We're going to take the small sand-filled plastic mallet, and instead of hitting it like this, I'm going to actually use this as a dolly, and I'm going to go ahead and use this hammer to do the work for me. And by doing that, I'm trying to push this back flat, which will in turn pull this out, if that makes any sense. Because like I said, we're trying to do the easy, simple stuff first before we get the frame machine out and literally have to use that. Now, I do want to show you this hammer right here. This hammer actually has a rubber head on it, and then it has a hard plastic head. When you're using this particular hammer as a dolly, and you're trying to not do any body work here, you definitely don't want to use a hard-headed hammer, a metal hammer, because you want to use something that's going to give it a nice soft hit that will apply itself to doing the job for you and not ruining the paint that you already got on here. So it looks like we might have actually pulled the hinge out, But on this particular situation right here, it looks like the hinge may be pulled out straight like we want it, but the body itself still has a situation where it needs to come out. So we'll go ahead and bolt the new door onto the vehicle, and we're going to see how it lines up in the door opening itself. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it one more jerk, maybe two, just to give it a little bit of play. And I think we're going to go ahead and try it right there. Okay, we got our used door right here. As many can watch out, there you go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hang this door on there so it doesn't slide off this fucking chair. So I went ahead and removed the hinge that we were using to pull it with. Let's see if we can get this door in the opening without ruining. There you go. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and latch it on. I think it's latched. Oh, there we go, right there. And then while I'm holding the door in, I'm going to go ahead and bolt it on here. And we're going to cross our fingers that all this lines up. Can you go back over in there and get one of these bolts for me, please?
In the paint
Yeah,
booth?
no, in the top.
I brought two. I didn't know which one. This is the one you
Okay,
gave
look,
me.
let me show you. Look. Okay, does that look the same? Does that look the same?
So what do you want, Pete?
I wanted the one that looks exactly the same.
Okay, good. See, I brought it to you. So what's the fucking point of you acting like an ass?
Nothing, I just thought, you know.
I brought you the right bolt, and you're acting like I brought you the wrong one.
I was just saying, I wanted the one that I showed you, this one, not one that was painted. You look right here, look, this one's got a collar on it. Can you see that?
And I brought it to you.
Look at that one. Look at the one in your
I
hand.
see that.
You know, there is a difference, okay?
Yeah.
Now, while we're on the subject of bolts, I'm going to go ahead and explain it to you while I'm explaining it to me. Do you know why there's a collar on here?
No.
This is a lineup collar, see? Without that one, can I see it? Okay. Alright, look at the difference. This is called a quick lineup bolt. See the collar on it there, Minnie? Look at this one, it doesn't have nothing. So this one here lines the door up perfect from the factory.
Good thing you know these things. Helps out, doesn't it?
It's called trials and tribulations. So, I'm looking at the door and I'm not liking the way it's fitting, so let's see. That door isn't in all the way, hang on. The only adjustment is right there, a slide hammer and a frame machine. And that's why the frame shop that I was going to take this to, because I don't have a drive-on frame machine, that's why they said they don't want to straighten it. Because this is a throwaway car. And when you mess up the center post on this, okay, if we had to replace that quarter panel there, all right, you don't just buy the quarter panel only like you would on an old classic car. You got to buy everything from that end of the quarter panel all the way to this end of the fender. This whole thing is one section that you replace. That's why they call them unibodies. Let's see what happens when we shut our door. I'm not liking the way it's looking, and see what happens. So we're going to go ahead and shut the door, and it looks like it did pull it in. Look at that. It actually worked pretty good. And the reason I want to show you that is because if we look right here, see how it's nice and flush here? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go over to the other side of the car and we'll look at that side. Look right here where it's sucked in. Do you see that?
Yeah.
If you come over here, you can see where it's sucked in. That's how the door should be. Just like that.
Yeah.
All right, so we still got a little bit of pulling to do. See, look at there. It needs to suck in right to there, see? The bottom fits real good. What I'm concerned about is this top up here. And what we do, see, by pulling this hinge out, what that does is that pulls the door and rocks it in where it'll fit on the top, see? And we know that this door is not a wrecked door. And if you don't get these doors to fit properly, what happens is you start getting wind noise. And once you start getting wind noise, then you're really screwed, because then the customer starts complaining, bitching, and hollering at you. So I'm going to go ahead and take the door off. We're going to put the old hinge back on it. I'm going to do some more pulls on it because I can see that it's pulling out really nice. It actually pulled out pretty good. If I have to, I'll hook my frame machine up to it and pull it out, which I really don't want to do, but it might take that extremeness to get this done right. Because the lesson that we've learned here is that there's no such thing called a B-pillar on a unibody car. What you're looking at here is a quarter panel section. Okay, and for me to cut this out right here, and then cut it out down here, and cut it out over there, and to put this one section in there, and hope and pray that the door lines up by doing that, would cost a fortune, because you got to buy the whole frickin' side.
Your insurance company will never pay for that. They totally.
This car here is a 2015, and from this accident right here that you're looking at, this is a job that the insurance company would rather total out than pay to have fixed. Fits pretty tight down here. Look at this gap. Okay, I'm thinking by, look how tight it fits right here. See right there where it's, okay. The gap should be like this right here. Okay, I got to get down the road. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete. We're going to do some more tweaking on this, and hopefully this thing's going to fit. If I got to get my frame machine out, we will definitely be back and show you what the situation is. I'm thinking that by a few more smacks with our slide hammer, we should be able to pull this thing out and get her done. One more thing that I'm going to do is come over here. There's additives and specialty tools that you can use, and they're called Moe Clamps. And here's a couple Moe Clamps. This is a specialty clamp right here that you would grab your frame rail or whatever that would fit in that J-box situation, and then it would clamp down. And the way a Moe Clamp works is when you tighten it down, all right, let me show you. It's got this wedge. You can see the wedge in there. And when you tighten that down onto the metal, when you pull with your chain, do you see how that wedges out? So what it's doing, it's giving it a tighter grip the more you pull. So that's called a Moe Clamp. Now there is other brands. This is the most popular though. And yeah, very expensive little item. And then here's another type of a clamp. And you can see how it's got different variations of angles. So you would take this and bolt it probably to your frame rail, let's say, or something, and then you would go ahead and pull with that. It also has this additive here where you can actually clamp it on. You can see the jaws in there. So this is a double whammy type puller that you can either pull from this angle here while it's clamped on there, or you can use one of these variances of angles and pull from there. The one that I need though, I have to dig out because I got a bunch of these, and I'm going to hook it up onto that. Now what I'll do is I'll take my Moe Clamp, and it's not going to be this one, it'll be another one, and we'll literally bolt that right there. Because right now, the way that we're pulling this door out right now is we're pulling it back in this area here. We're not really pulling it out right here. So we need to really get right here where these two bolts are to pull that out. And we don't want to go too far on it due to the fact that if we go too far, then what's going to happen is it's going to pull the door out too far. Now it looks real good right here, but if Minnie can get an angle right here, you can see the bottom lip there where the bottom of the door is in. So what we got to do is
Isn't it that way on the other side though?
No, it's not. It's flush all the way around.
Because it was in at the top on the other side.
Yes, it is in at the top for air. Okay, flush. Look at the gap on that door. Look at it. See how nice and even it is all the way around? Okay. So we got a nice gap up here, but once we get to this point here, it's too close, and that's because this post got hit and it got pushed. What we got to do is pull this out. We're going to pull it this way. When we pull it out, it will give that gap a better gap. Do you understand now?
Got it.
Minnie.
You don't have to get mad, Pete.
Man, I just want to get it done. Alright, we went ahead and did a little bit more slide hammer action, and I actually got the front door on as well. And it seems like everything's lining up really, really nice. The front door happened to go on really good. We went ahead and just unbolted the door from the hinges. I did get hinges with this door when I ordered it. That's very important. If you get a used door, make sure you get the hinges with it just in case. But it seems like the hinges on the front door are okay. We got good body line over here. You can see that. Everything looks really well. And the body line between the door looks really, really nice. I like that. All right, all the way down. And by jerking on it with our slide hammer, just a little bit more is all it took. We went ahead and straightened that body line out right there that goes all the way around. And now if you look at it right here, you can see where the door actually fits inside the, the hole. So now the front door goes on. It shuts very easy. One shut situation, just like that. And we're actually going to remove the door. I want to show you the inside of that door jamb, what I had to do to it, and what I still need to do to it to finish the job out. And then we want to go ahead and take a look at what we had to do to this door jamb here, this double door jamb, center post I might say, to go ahead and fix it up. What I did is I took my dent puller and I went ahead and hammer and dollied all this out right here, making sure that it was flat, because remember this was caved in. We also had this situation right here that was crushed in and caved in, and I went ahead and ground that down, and I went ahead and hammer and dollied that out using my dent puller to straighten it out. And then of course over here, I think what happened is there's a heavy-duty steel structure right in this area, and I think it's got something to do with this hinge right here. And when I hit that, I went ahead and hit it with this big hammer, using as much force as I could to get that back in place. And I noticed that when I hit it, what happened is it went ahead and kind of put all this back in place as well. So you got to make sure that you use the right hammers for the right jobs. All right, this is the hammer that you're going to use, or this style of hammer. You don't want to use a big metal hammer and crush that in. Now we did start this out thinking that we might be able to get away with not painting it, but as you can see, it's a situation that's arose that to finish the job right, you got to take it to the extra step and do what you got to do. So we got our post straightened out, but the main tool that we used for this job, and the tool that was the most experienced tool to do the job, is the slide hammer. The slide hammer is going to save you time. It's going to help you out, and it's going to do a job that you need to do. If you are in the market of a slide hammer, get the Big Daddy slide hammer kit like this that comes with all of these extra ends and fittings and hooks and all the stuff you need. I've only used this particular end probably since I've had this kit probably 4 times, maybe 3. So it's not the most used tip that you'll ever use with your slide hammer, but it's there when you need it, and it does the job that it needs to be done to take care of it and do the right situation. Okay, over here, Minnie. Come on over here. Come on over here. Are we done with that pry bar? Yeah, go ahead and put it away. Okay, you want to come over here, please? Alright, we went ahead and straightened that door out, and we got pretty lucky, wouldn't you say? Huh?
Yep.
I think we got lucky. We didn't have to use the frame machine. That would have really been a nightmare of a job doing that. And I'm really glad we didn't have to use any Moe Clamps on it, because you know how that is. It's nice to have a frame machine, but when you have to hook it up and tie it down and all that, it can really be a time-consuming situation and a pain in the ass. So
most people charge like $3.50 just to pull this out of the
there you go.
bay
You
where
want to
they're
grab that?
hauling it.
All right. So I was telling people, bring that over here for a minute. I was telling people by using that slide hammer can really save a lot of time. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
How heavy is that thing, Minnie? Over here, we're not done yet.
What? I thought you gave it to me to put it away. We're done with it.
How heavy is that thing, would you presume?
25 pounds?
Yeah, it's about a 25 pounder. Now, you've seen me use that thing a lot. We got an extra tip here. You might as well put that away. Let's see if we can find it, get it out of the way now. Do you know where I put it? Okay, well, keep your eyes out for it. We don't want to lose that. Okay. All right, Minnie the Body Shop Girl, you've been a good help. Thank you very much. It doesn't go in that drawer. Okay, find the drawer that it goes in. I'm sure you can figure it out. You want to unscrew that off of there? Because I'm not going to use that. There you go. Take that off of there. There's actually an adapter piece on there. Make sure the adapter piece stays on it. Okay, we got to go. All right, I'm missing a piece, and I got to find it. The hook that I initially keep on there, I don't know where it went. So let me find that, and hopefully we'll get things done the right way, because that's what it's all about, is having that positive attitude and telling yourself you can do it. Believe me, you can do it. Finding the tools is another situation, though. Here it is, right here, Minnie. Right here. Look what we got. Oh, there it is, right there. All right, you want to put that away for me, please, Minnie, the Body Shop Girl, girlfriend, girl. Minnie. She's in a bad mood today. I didn't know if anybody noticed that. All right, we're gonna let you go, and that's it. It's a done deal. We used the tools we needed to use. We got the job done, and we put up with Minnie all in one day. Wow, what else can you ask for? Thank you very much, Minnie the Body Shop Girl. And then, of course, I'm sorry, hold on a minute. Oh, Minnie's out there weed eating. Weed eat girl. For some weird reason, she loves to weed eat. I don't know what the deal is, but she likes to weed eat. But anyway, I thought I'd come back and go ahead and give you the final view of this. After pulling the post out, we went ahead and straightened, hammered, and dollied. Did a little bit of body work, very minor. Just a good swipe with some Bondo Evercoat mix, Bondo polyester filler mix, and came out really good. I'm going to go ahead and prime that. I'll go ahead and blend the primer in, make sure I feather it out good, and then we'll go ahead and paint that post down on the bottom, and it's a done situation. So that's basically the deal on the slide hammer action that you can be using to better yourself at what you're trying to do. We'll see you later.
Watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.